Okay, Reggie Wright. I had to bring you back to the platform because there's always breaking news with Suge's podcast now, so I gotta ask your opinion on some things. But before we get started, is there anything that you want to talk about?
Of course, of course. Once again, shout out to my people whose birthday is in the month of February. It is February the 1st, y'all. Can y'all believe that? We already done lost a month in 2024. Uh, Secondly, congratulations to the people that are KC fans and the 49er fans. You two made it to the Super Bowl. No, my boy D Block is real happy. He's a major 49er fan. So good luck. However, I'm going for the KC. Yeah, I know I'm prejudiced. I'm going for the black quarterback, even though he's 50-50. The other thing is, wanted to shout out my boy Thomas Carter. Thomas Carter, he's a guy that's been a major supporter of Bomb First Channel, one of the first originals from back in the day. He got a show, #1 show on Tubi right now, called Rose Gold. So if y'all get a chance to go check that out on Tubi, Rose Gold, just know it's somebody that's in our comic section daily, and he's a fan and a part of the Bomb First community. So other than that, yeah, that's about it, Big John.
Okay. Before we get started, I have a quick note. I just want to ask our YouTube subscribers to please follow us on Twitter at WeBombFirst, as we are getting more active on there.
Yeah, I noticed y'all been doing a great job. Y'all been doing a great job over there.
Trying. It seems like it's an I know it's an old platform, but it seems like it's an up and coming one. So I figured we would try our hand at it. But
better hurry up and get it going though, because you know our boy Elon about to go bankrupt. I don't know if y'all heard in the news today he lost $50 billion.
Well, what it was is he wanted $50 billion as an incentive from Tesla for growing out their AI and their robotics, and the judge said that's ludicrous and wouldn't let him get it. But he's got however millions of billions of dollars, so he won't go broke. Not anytime soon. But real quick, before I get into my first question with you Reggie, have you heard anything more about Keefe D as far as if he's going to try to make bail or if he's just going to get that new lawyer and try to fight it out? Have you heard anything on the Keefe D front before we get into the first question?
I got a call from somebody that's very close to him. And his exact words to me was, I got Reggie Wright. I'm so tired of you being so right on and spot on stuff. He said, I don't know who you be talking to or what you be knowing. He said, but yeah, that's what we in the process of trying to do, or he heard from their people. I don't know if he's just communicate with people because he's from the South Side area. But he said that's what they're trying to do. He said, but Keefe D don't want to give up all his rights, and the people that's offering him the money trying to get all the rights. So I won't be surprised by the time of his next court hearing. I think it's mid-February, like the 19th, 21st or something like that. He'll be going to court for another hearing. And I won't be too surprised if he might get bailed out. I'm sure somebody might give him that $75,000. I don't think it's a smart move, but who am I? But if the people is buying his rights for lawyer money and bail, then hell yeah. But if it's just for bailing out and not paying that lawyer, not being smart at all, but as we know, I always say, Compton Unified School District failed Keefe D, so he ain't too bright. But that's about it. Haven't heard anything else or anything much more on it. But he got a hearing coming up, I know in mid-February for something. And then I wouldn't be surprised. Y'all might be seeing him starting back up his comedy career. Not. And won't give a interview. You couldn't pay him to give an interview until that case is over. But anyway, so that's all I heard on him. And hey, I like to see him. You know, like I said, I just want to prove myself right, so y'all can get off all of that bull crowd. Well, other than that, hey, let justice be as it is, and it's in the hands of the courts at that time. The courts and God. What Tupac say? Only who can judge you? And so, yeah. And so I got to live by that if I'm keeping it real. Yeah.
Okay, Suge released a new episode of his podcast last week, and you know, we'll get into some other aspects of the podcast, but one of the more newsworthy or shocking things that he said was he made a crazy statement or allegation against James. I was wanting to get your take on what he said, and yeah, if there was any truth to it, or what your thoughts were when you heard him say that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these are two guys that I've been knowing for over 5 decades, or a little short of 5 decades, if it ain't 5 decades, which is 50 years, for those of y'all don't know. And I have never, ever heard no bullshit like that come out of Suge Nightmouth, James, or Buntry, his brothers, or anybody. And I have known all of the people involved. I even know James' mother and Suge's mother. So I never heard any allegations like that. I know Suge gets disappointed in Reggie Wright because I also heard the comment when he said, you know, there's people out there or somebody else out there that, you know, always saying or trying to correct it or saying he's right or wrong. And I know he's talking about me, but that's cool. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. But I know she'll get disappointed and get mad that I guess I go against him when it comes to concerning James. But hey, James my friend too. And so just like I have loyalty and disappointment in Suge, I still have loyalty with James as well. And he ain't never been nothing but 100 to me. Saying all of that to say, yeah, maybe I shouldn't always insert myself into the situation because James is here to defend himself. Matter of fact, I'm going to call James, get James on the phone line, and just get a spontaneous response from him. And so let me try to call James right quick and see if I can get James on the phone. And yeah. Hey, James.
Hey, what's up, Reg?
Oh, what up? Hey, man, right quick. Me and John doing a weekly taping over here on Bomb First. We're still missing your ass on Still Bombing, but that's another subject. We'll talk about that later. But I don't know if you heard. Matter of fact, we're going to play it for the audience that haven't heard it because I saw the views over there is very, very low. So I mean, a lot of y'all ain't run over there to check it out. So I'm going to play this little part and then let you respond to it. I don't know if you did or didn't hear it, but I'm sure people have been hitting you up because they've been hitting me up about it. Check it out. Listen to this right quick.
All right.
So my mother was telling my father that it was a family lived on killing.
So after hearing that, I know. Well, first of all, had you heard about it?
Yeah, I heard about it. Like you said, a lot of people were sending me the clip and telling me to listen to this dumb. Like what? And you know, at first I was reluctant. Then I just said, "Let me hear what he got to say." Reg, I'm like this. I'm done with arguing with a dude that's in the penitentiary. I'm on the streets living my life. I'm doing me. I ain't got time to go back and forth with Suge. What I didn't like is, you know, say what the you want to say about James. I don't care. I'm cool. James got a lot of to say about Suge Knight, but I'm good on that dude. But my mother, my brother, my family, keep my family out your business, out your mouth. I never talk bad about Maxine, nor his father, nor his sisters. So when he put my mama in this here equation, now you out of line, my nigga. Now you opening the doors for different shit. But who I look like entertaining a nigga that's in the penitentiary? a guy that had everything. And sitting in the penitentiary. Me and Suge ain't on the same page, man. I'm living life. He can't say that. So let Suge go on and run with it. But all I say to Suge is, man, keep it even. Don't put my mother in it. That pissed me off. But why am I getting mad at this, man?
Yeah. Now you know. Getting mad at this, huh? Yeah. Now you know I played both sides of the fence. What I mean by I got a reporter hat on, and then I have an interviewer or a friend hat on. But the main question is, James, you still ain't answered the question, was it true or not? And I think you need to address that. And that's not the friend side of it, actually.
Let me explain something to you.
Go ahead.
My father was full of shit, and my mother was full of shit at times. Man, I ain't never been touched in my life. And that's a question I shouldn't even have to answer.
Well,
everybody
I just know how people are.
Everybody know my family.
Yeah.
Everybody know my family. I sent you 2 pictures earlier today when I was 8 years old. I ain't never been no light-skinned. And when I was in the penitentiary, I wasn't no light-skinned.
Oh, I didn't even know why you sent me no pictures. I was wondering why you sent me no pictures.
Well, I said I ain't no light-skinned 51 years ago.
Yeah.
I ain't no light-skinned still 31 years ago. I'm not, listen, man, everybody been touched now. Everybody gay, everybody man and man. Man, I ain't never been touched in my life, bro. And everybody know that's bullshit.
Now you have admitted, and this so people will know, and I know maybe Suge be hearing and he gets stuff mixed up. Maybe he mixing it up with when you said you were abused, meaning
my daddy
assault.
Used to,
yeah.
Man, I don't deny that, and I've always said, when my upbringing, my daddy kicked my ass.
Yeah.
Kick my ass, not poke my ass. My daddy used to kick my ass, man. And I still got marks to prove that. I don't deny that at all. That was rough.
Gotcha.
But Suge has got himself. He had a strict daddy.
Yeah.
But I'm not in his household, and I can't speak on how his daddy and his mama treated him. All I say to that dude, and I hope it get back to him, and it don't even have to get back to him. I'm here, you there. I don't have time to entertain that bullshit. I'm on some grown man shit. I ain't on this internet bullshit. I ain't got time for Suge Knight. I got money in my pocket. I can touch money. You can't touch money. Yeah. I can go and fuck some if I want to. You can't touch no pussy. I can go in the kitchen and make what the fuck I want to eat. You can't do that.
Yeah. Now, James, what would be your response? What would be your response? Like I said, I'm playing with my 2 sides of the hats. To people that say, well, James, it's tit for tat. You started it. You came out on Murder Rob and Vlad and Bomb First and everything and attacked at him. What would be your response to that?
Well, my response to that is I'm not mad at Suge for speaking, for saying what he got to say. All I say to Suge is, come on, man, keep it 100.
Yes.
Speak on some 100 shit. Everything Suge has said about me is some motherfucking lie, Reggie. And you know.
Oh, I know it. Oh, I know it.
Okay, listen to me. So we can't play devil's advocate. We can't be on both sides of the fence.
I'm saying as the questions. I'm asking you the questions.
I know. Listen to what I'm saying to you, though, brother.
Okay.
I'm not going to play both sides. You always say right is wrong.
Yes.
A ball is a strike. You're going to call it how it is.
Yeah.
And that's all. Just be fair with it. It is to you, Reg.
Go ahead.
People that don't know me, people that don't know Suge Knight, you know, people can free Suge Knight all day. I don't care about none of that. People don't know about Suge Knight. People don't know about me.
Yeah.
But what I say about Suge Knight, I can say it because I was there. I don't say somebody told me about Suge.
Yeah.
I don't say I saw Suge get punked. I say I did it.
Correct.
I don't speak no bullshit on Suge. I don't lie on that dude. And I said when I send that nigga that money, I'm gonna leave that nigga alone.
Yeah, you did that?
I told Sarita, I'm gonna leave that dude alone. I'm gonna get up that food off his neck. But he got his podcast. Do what you gotta do, homeboy. All I say is keep it 100. Whatever you say about me, if you seen stains in my drawers, talk about it. I don't give a f. All I say is leave my mama, my family out of it. My mama not here to defend herself, but I'm here for that. Nigga, just keep my mama out your mouth. Stop lying on my mother. My mother ain't never with Maxine, and Suge know that. Here's the thing. Suge can tell people that I ain't never been to his house. I ain't never with him. We ain't never this and that. How is it? How is it that we ain't never with each other? How is it that I'm this type of nigga? You came and got me, nigga. These guys you know, and Reggie is a proven fact. Just be honest. This nigga didn't know these.
No, we was at Linwood. All we knew is of people and, you know, guys that was in the area that we grew up with. Okay.
Right, he didn't, like I said, and I'm not gonna go in on Suge, man. It's all good. But
okay.
You there, I'm here.
Gotcha.
Now, what I look like coming down to your motherfucking level, you can't even walk 120 feet, motherfucker. You can't stretch your arms.
All right. There was an episode that came up where Suge had shouted out a few people from the neighborhood on a prior episode. James, did you get a chance to hear that episode of the people? And, oh, by the way, I also want to ask you, how's that witness protection program going for you, James?
Hey, man, check this out. I'm like this. I told you, not told anybody.
Y'all got to know, James called going off on me when y'all saw that episode I put up about a week ago saying that me and him ain't in witness. He said, Reggie, what the f*** you talking about?
Right.
But go ahead, so that's why I said that joke.
It's so ridiculous, man. And everybody want to paint this picture about James, about Mob James. Mob James, I'm not Mob James. I ain't did no gangbanging on no power and got 22 years. 22 years. I ain't living like that. And for these cats to think that I'm finna go into a witness program on a KPD, on a mother, man, let me tell you, brother, I ain't that shit. And I'm not finna sit here and I'm like I told you earlier, I'm doing something totally different in my life. KPD has been telling on himself for 20 years. If they can't convict that man off of what he said, Reggie, they damn sure ain't gonna get me to do it.
Yeah. And for those of y'all don't know that's behind, it's Dirt Rock that got money to relocate. So that's where that confusion come up.
What's his name?
Dirt Rock. He's from
okay,
Southside.
That's on Dirt Rock. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But I just find it crazy that James is in witness. Man, let me tell you. So I took my grandson with me. Man, get the f*** out of here. And Reg.
I just had to tap at you and mess with you about that. You know how Reg is. And
you know how to get me mad too, because when I seen that man, witness protection, what the and I ain't never sat down on the nigga. I ain't never pointed on out, and I'm not finna start. I'm not finna sit here and give you this. Exactly. All of these years, man, that's on that brother. That brother put himself in that situation. It ain't my business. And I wouldn't give a what they did on neither side. Don't come with me. Exactly. Don't come with me. So that's
yeah.
Next question.
But anyway, back to the question at hand was, talk about some of the people that Suge talked about on the podcast. I know a lot of them lived on Orchard, so I know that's why he talked about it. Shout out Darren Gray, Woo Woo, Darren, and Foo, and all of them. Miss Ray, she was our teacher aide at school at Foster. And,
yeah.
And she was a beautiful black woman growing up.
Yes, she was.
And so, shout out Miss Ray. And there was a couple other people I can't think of. I think one was TC or something like that he talked about.
TC lived on Orchard.
Yeah, they're always on Orchard. For those of y'all don't know about or didn't catch that.
That was the street Suge lived on.
Yeah.
Now, if you go 5 houses to the right, 5 houses to the left, you can see these people outside watering their grass. I'm quite sure he know them.
Yeah.
They on your block.
Correct.
Now, I had mentioned, and when I went off on him the first time, name some of the homies that you with on the block that you kicked it with when you was posted up, doing the homeboy. He couldn't name them. So he when I heard this, he said Fred Peterson them. Fred Peterson was way older than us, but Fred hung in the hood. Fred was from the hood.
But they never was no game banger. He was mainly a D-boy, as I remember. But
all of us got ties. They've been in the hood a long time.
Correct.
A long time. And that's when Maynard was home. That's when, all of the...
Who's an auto thief? He's just
which we call... No, man, see, we ain't finna put him out there.
Well, Maynard know what he is. Maynard know.
Maynard, them, like I said, all of those are the older guys.
Yes.
And that's what Fred been in. And Howard and all of those guys. Suge naming somebody that he never with. He know of.
Gotcha. Yeah. And quite frankly, he got that from...
Him and Darren Ray.
Yeah.
Him and Darren Ray was cool, but they was...
Because they played baseball together.
Playing baseball.
Correct.
So it wasn't like they was running them up. Darren was never, and I never considered Darren as a gang banger.
Yeah, me and Darren was always close because we had a birthday on the same day, August the 5th.
Right. So I mean, if you're gonna name some, tell people how you grew up with Buntry. Tell people how you grew up and hung out and rode with Kenny Tubbs. He was on your block.
Yeah. And in fairness, the reason why I think he didn't do that, James, because I think he was trying to name people that people hadn't heard about. Would you give him that?
No. What you mean? People ain't never heard about Fred. Man, I used to fuck with Fred.
On YouTube, no Fred Peters.
You ain't heard. The only person you hear speaking on Kenny Tubbs is me.
I said people that, yeah. But you're right. You could have talked about Kenny. Yeah.
I speak on them people. I know them people. Children, and it really don't matter to me. All I try to do is spit out facts.
Correct.
That should never hung in the hood, like on the corner, like a gang banger, gang member. Suge don't got no stories about kicking it on Stockton, a block over, and drinking and kicking it with the homies. Suge ain't got no stories of motherfuckers coming to drive by.
In my opinion, that make him a smart man, not one to be a gang member. All right,
Reggie, tell the truth. If you can remember, I've always said that Suge has been blessed to have a mother and a father.
Correct.
As well as you to have a mother and a father to keep him away from that element.
Correct.
Meaning us.
Yeah.
Meaning us. Yeah. You can't wait at 59 to try to paint no gang picture that you from the hood. You can't do that.
Well, in fairness, now, come on. He's been doing that since about 27, 28, right?
Doing what?
The biggest power room, red card, from Compton. I'm not saying he was.
Okay, Reggie, that don't make you
on YouTube and in the music industry and across the country. You can't say that people don't look at him that way.
Okay, yeah, I can say people look at him that way because that's the picture he's painting. Yeah. You hear people talking about, straight off the porch. You ain't straight off the porch.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be 28. You're a grown-ass motherfucking man living other shit. Now you done stepped into this life. two different things, bro.
Yeah.
And I don't care what side of the fence Suge, Miriam Knight is on, man. Me and him ain't on the same page.
No.
Period.
I'll be the first to say that.
He was a rich nigga.
Well,
I'm
talking about back then. I think now y'all both are trying to be. Back now, and I want to believe both of my friends are trying to be good fathers, grandfathers.
Who's both of your friends?
I consider Suge still a friend, even though I'm disappointed.
Well, you can't put us in the same category.
Well,
right there.
You trying to be a great grandfather, and I'm sure he's trying to be a father from prison.
Well, good luck. Good luck. And
you don't think you can be a father? You
don't hear me talking about Suge kids.
No, you don't. That's one thing you don't do. You told me. You have told me.
I say,
Reggie, don't put kids and parents into these equations. You have always stayed on me about that.
Period. Yes. And when she come out and people speak on me, you know, it's my oldest son, it's my sisters. They get mad at that shit. So I know when I say shit about Suge, I know I have offended his Sharitha. I probably offended his sons and daughters.
Well, Sharitha need to move on with her life. She's a goddamn married woman to somebody else now.
No, I'm talking about a long time ago, Reg.
Okay.
Not everybody has moved on in their life.
Okay.
I'm quite sure by the time she'll get out, a lot of us might not be here.
Yeah.
So put this in a time capsule. I don't give a f***. Suge can't do nothing. Listen, Suge was a rich nigga. I've always been a broke nigga. I've always claimed to be a gang member or whatever.
Yeah.
Suge has not been. It don't bother me. So the things that Suge doing and who he know and who he don't know, I can tell you this. I guarantee you Suge can't pick 5 niggas that was on death row that was working there, and he can't give you a story on those 5 that he with on the daily before his 28 years of life.
You talking about when? During death row time or before?
Before death row,
Suge
can name now nigga that was employed on death row that he can give you a story about how they with each other on the streets, how they kicked it on, not Orchard, but let's go Stockton, Diane, Macmillan. Let's go, just say Akins, that hung out at Akins.
No, he was tight with Ron O'Donnell. That was his crew back then.
Them is people.
I know, that's what I said. That's who they ran. Yeah. Daryl Henley and Ron Brown. Big West.
I'm cool with all my people too, Reggie. I'm cool with my family too, bro. But at the end of the day, I say this, and I say this to everybody that listen to Bomb First. I say this to everybody that listen to Suge podcast. Ever since I've been coming on Bomb First, I have not lied to nobody. I don't, some things I might have said, I shouldn't have said, but I'm not getting down like that. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, Suge is doing 28 years in prison. James McDonald is not. I'm living something else. All I say is leave me the f*** on. I'm doing something that I didn't do with my 3 kids.
Yeah.
Like a 100, I'm a 100 grandfather.
No, you
don't praise me for the
shit. You
do
an amazing job at that. Amazing. I agree.
But I say, just leave me the f*** alone, because I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying feeling like I'm a motherfucking man. I growed up.
Yeah.
Reg, I growed up big time.
Yeah. Well,
and this podcast,
we got to cut it there because I know John going crazy because he hate when I have 13-minute episodes.
Going back to Suge's podcast on his latest episode, he talked a bit about death row artists being jealous of Tupac and Tupac's success. I wanted to get your thoughts on that and what your perspective was, if you agreed or didn't agree with that.
Yeah, you know what? I also saw the Dads responded to that, and I'll play that later. But before we get into playing that, I swear, I saw nothing but love being around Death Row. You know, as we all know, I was just security then. But I was a different type of security because I was security owner that was always with Suge, hanging with Suge. But yes, my role was just chief of security for Death Row at the time when Pac was alive and, you know, being around the artists. But I would always hear from Suge. And then, of course, after I started going up and visiting Suge during those 5.5 years, I tell y'all, we talked about a lot of things, everything. And it's just until we came up with this YouTube world and hearing interviews on YouTube and stuff that I started to kind of be like, damn, man, people feel that way about Pac? They felt that way? Because initially, I didn't observe that. It appeared to be all love. Now, of course, the Dre thing went down, but that was mainly, which I always tell y'all, I know people get mad, but that was mainly because of Miss Chalet. And that Dre got tired and left. Now, Pac and Suge turned it on people and presented to the artists in this meeting like it was because Dre refused to come and support Snoop during the murder trial was the reason that they felt he was just being disloyal, and Dre wasn't coming up to the studio and recording and working like the other producers were, like Quick and Daz and Meech and Johnny J and all of them were always being around. And so people forget, I remember, I know, Dre wasn't coming around a lot then, but number one, he didn't like that atmosphere. But two, and more importantly, he had a studio at his house. But three, nigga was on house arrest. A lot of times he couldn't come even if he wanted to. And so that's my opinion. That's what I observed as far as the jealousy. Now, I do agree with you that a lot of artists, from their statements later, had some built-in, deep down jealousy towards Tupac. So yeah, I agree with Suge on that. But I got a point I want to make, because I talked to a producer earlier in the week when he heard it, and he brought up some great examples. And I'm going to try to call him and see if I can get him. Now that I know this phone stuff works and all of that, I'm going to try to call him and let him explain to him his opinion, because he broke it down well to me. If that's okay for you, John, if you give me a second to try to get him on the phone. All right. This is a producer I got on the phone that's about to come on with us. Hey, D Harp.
Hey, hello.
Hey, okay. That's my boy D Harp, y'all. Dor Harper. Let me explain to those that don't recognize his name. And y'all done saw him on Art the Dialogue channel. Y'all know his work. Once y'all hear it, I don't let John call it out. I'll let John call it out so we can give him a proper introduction. Because once y'all hear the songs that he did, y'all be like, all right, he was a hell of a producer. And for those of y'all that's new to D Harp, John, could you just right quick give us a few of the? I think he did about 5 or 7 songs with Machiavelli.
He definitely did a lot. So he did White Man's World, Crazy. What else did Daryl Harper do? Me and My Girlfriend, I believe.
He did some of Still I Rise.
No, Me and My Girlfriend was not Machiavelli, but let's see. Life of an Outlaw, you were on that. I believe you did As the World Turns, if I'm not mistaken, from Still I Rise.
Yes, Still I Rise.
That's what and a good amount of stuff even on One Nation. So Daryl Harper has a lot of stuff. So
yeah. So I'm going to let D Harp put his opinion in for him being an artist or a producer that was around Death Row at the time. And let's hear his take. He's one of those dudes that speaks very well, that breaks down real well. He's not like me. He's not harsh. He don't talk bad about nobody. And so that's why a lot of people be scared with Reg. But D Harp, D-Hart, go ahead and talk, man. Just
Man,
tell
look,
us.
of course, everybody, the friends I know, been calling me, telling me about the interview, and I got a chance finally to listen to it. And as you know, like I've stated to you several times, Reggie, I'm crazy about Daz and everybody in the dog pound.
Matter of fact, I'm going to cut you off right quick. I want you to listen to Daz's response too, so you can also respond to his. I want you to listen to that right quick. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Yo, I got a problem with this. You know, people always saying that Snoop, Dr. Dre, us, everybody, we was jealous of Tupac. How can we be jealous of Tupac and we made Tupac? You know what I'm saying? We put that album together. We came over there. We gave him music. We did that. We wanted him to be the man of the man. You know what I mean? So how was we jealous putting his album together? You know what I'm saying? Taking songs from us and giving it to him. How is that jealousy? The only jealousy there was Suge Knight in his ear and everybody's ear causing confusion. Look at that motherfucker now. You know what I mean? All on this little podcast, always talking shit. Kill that noise. The Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre, none of us. We was never jealous of Tupac. Because we can go in the streets and hang out and do whatever the fuck we want to do. He was limited for what he had to do. And we was the one that was producing and creating a masterpiece. All eyes on me. So who's jealous? I think Suge Knight was jealous. Yeah.
So my response is, you know, I love Daz. I love the Dog Pound. I know you guys have your differences here and there. That's nothing to do with D-Hart.
Exactly.
Daz is a legend to me and all that. But when he said we made Tupac, that's what everybody called me about. Now, I'm not on their level, so I'm not trying to profess that, oh, yeah, they called me something. No, but I did get a chance. I was blessed enough to work with Pac on several different projects. And one thing that I know that I observed, Pac didn't need none of us. He really didn't, to me. And one way I could actually prove it, on All Eyes on Me, he had Dre, Quick, Warren Campbell, Priest, Daz. He had all these great, phenomenal producers.
DJ Quick.
And I said Quick.
Okay.
So Quick is like one of my favorites. So he had all of these people on that project. And that was a phenomenal piece of work, man. To take that out of hip-hop, you putting a big hole in hip-hop. If you took that album away from hip-hop, that was great. But I say that to say, juxtaposed to that, you put that on the side to Machiavelli, which I was blessed to have a part in. I had 5 songs on it. I'm not half as skilled as a Daz or a Warren Campbell or any of the other names I mentioned. I'm not even the least bit on their level. But he took the skills that me and Tyrone had, and he went platinum again. And then another project, he went platinum, multi-platinum again, Still I Rise. I had 3 songs on there. Then he did, what's the other one? Better Days. So everything he touched was Midas. He had that gold touch. So I think we were given the gift that he jumped on any of our tracks. And I think of the tracks that they had were wonderful. But I can't think of another artist who would have sold what they sold if his voice wasn't on it. It would probably been a good song on the radio. But with his fire and his insight, I don't believe. But let me say this one thing, man, because I don't want to talk your ear off. But I believe this, man. When Snoop came in the game, him and Dog Pound, they shook the world the same way, man. It's like everybody was chewing up the mic back then. Sound like WWF, like they about to do a wrestling match or something. Everybody was yelling on the mic. Snoop came in with the 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Hey, slow it down. And he killed the world with that. And nobody saw it coming. I believe that when they went and got Pac, like Snoop said, hey man, I told him to go get Pac. Okay, I believe Snoop did that.
I know.
But I don't believe that, okay, I'm just saying, I don't believe that them or Pac knew it was about to be Pac's moment like it was Snoop's moment earlier. I believe when Pac came to Death Row, it was the time for him to actually to go into orbit. Like he had already had a following, but it was time for him to go to that next level.
Correct. I agree with that. Yeah.
So that's what we
basically what I get from it, and John, I'll let you chime in as well, because I love your input, especially when it comes to this music stuff. But basically what I get is that the producers and all of that helped Pac, but we didn't make Pac. Pac would have been a star if he would have rapped on a beat, Old MacDonald or whatever. And, Man, if he did Mary Had a Little Lamb, today we'd be seeing Mary another way. He would have made that happen too. Gotcha.
It was his time. And that's, I don't care what he rapped to. Listen to the stuff that we did. And look what he put to it. He found himself in that and made that happen.
And just so you guys know what we're responding to mainly, even though we led into talking about Suge, because we in agreement with Suge that people and producers and artists were jealous. Totally in agreement with Suge. We just responding to the statement of Das is what we responded to. And as Daryl has said, no disrespect to Das. This is his opinion, and I think it's my opinion, and I'd love to hear what John's opinion is on what Daryl and I just stated. And then I'll let Daryl clean it up. Clear.
Yeah, I did want to ask Daryl, and you can tell me if this is valid. I know on a lot of Tupac's handwritten track lists for stuff like Machiavelli and whatnot, there's an important thing that a lot of people don't really pick up on, and that's that, and you can speak to this because you worked with him, he would always put all songs co-produced by Tupac. From your perspective in working with him, did he have a lot of input and suggestions and whatnot on the beats that you and Hurt 'Em Bad and stuff did later on?
He had a lot. He had insight. He had vision. The first one that I know that he definitely had a lot to do with was Bomb First. Bomb First, it was similar to something he had did, anthem he had did before, and he wanted to have some similarity to that. And then I could name several beats, some of them that haven't come out yet. You know, we had several other songs that still haven't been released yet that he would come in and say, no, do this, or make the bass do that, or go faster, right? I mean, he had input. He had a vision, and he wanted that vision to be expressed.
All right, here comes the hater side of Reggie coming out. Yes, Tupac do have input and stuff like that, like Daryl just said. But the reason why people did co-executive produce or co-produce is because we had a term, and Daryl knows this term. He done heard it plenty of times from Suge. Don't fatten the frogs to feed the snakes.
To feed the snake. That was Suge saying.
And so what he means by that is, hey, I'm giving you an opportunity to blow up, but you gonna give me half of this publishing. I.e., I go listen to some interviews done by people that Beyonce, once she blew up, start allowing to be on her records and stuff like that, where y'all see Beyonce as co-producer on. That's just a part of the game that a lot of people don't like to talk about, don't like to hear about, but a lot of people, once they blow up, they be like, hey, you gonna give me some of that producer credit, some of that production credit. And that's what Pac did to Daryl and to Tyrone and to anybody, I think, that wanted to be on Machiavelli.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with me, I still feel honored just that he would even come in the room and even consider me. You got to remember, man, when we did this stuff, Suge gave us an allowance to go to Guitar Center and buy this equipment, and we were learning it as Pop was walking in saying, hey, man, I want to do that beat right there. And we was like, really? You'll take this? And you got to remember, we listening to Priest and them and whoever else in the next room killing some stuff. and you will come in here and take this. I still feel honored today. It's like surreal. I don't believe that was my experience, that one day wake up and I'm in the room with Pac and he's in there every night messing with me. That was so I'm honored that he would co-produce or say something in my favor or allow me to be on, say I like that idea and then put it out.
Yeah.
So that right there, you can't replace that.
Reggie, I wanted to see if you saw that Tretch was doing an interview on Willie D's podcast, and Willie D kind of asked him, why Tupac didn't have his vest on, and Tretch went on to say that Tupac was hard-headed for not wearing it, and that he should have been in a car that had tinted windows, and he shouldn't have been in the front seat, and so on and so forth. Did you see that clip, and do you have any thoughts about it?
Yeah, I would hope you'll be able to play it. If you're not, I would totally understand. But
if you listen to a Naughty by Nature song called More You Till I Join You, I put a lot in that record. We had a video and everything else. But you said it, Pac was hard-headed, for one. He didn't have his vest on that night.
Somebody said he had it on earlier and he took it off.
All right. Me and you both know, if you anywhere, and after he got shot the first time in New York, I might have messed up a whole lot of deals and everything else. I went every day with a vest. And heated. You know what I mean? Homies, everything, heated. In the meetings, I know these white folks was like, as soon as this shit over, do not call this nigga back. He's active. He don't separate business from the streets. But Pac, no. One of the first rules, if you get into a situation somewhere, especially out of state, and you brawl or anything or get into something, boom, and you have your vest or your strap, that's what it's there for. And when you rolling somewhere, you know to roll correctly where you're not in an untinted window or a car or sitting in the front seat.
So pretty much in that clip, he was just pretty much saying what I always said, how people treated Michael Jackson back in the day. Hey, Tretch is one of them, is a gangster. And hearing him say that was shocking to me, but I can't take nothing away from Tretch, because there's somebody that I look up to for both being as a great artist and being with the G Code, because I done been out with him in this town of New Jersey, at pool halls with him, when that out there firing shots off out in front of the radio station in New York with a Mac, scared the shit out of me, and I knew I was standing right there next to him while he was doing it. So Tretch is with the business. But I hate when people put the narrative out about Pac and their bulletproof vests. We have seen, I can show y'all probably 5 pictures of Tretch walking around with that bulletproof vest on. With Tupac Shakur on death row, if y'all can show me 2 pictures, 2, other than that one interview he did when I had just gave him the vest, because we was on our way to New York, and he did that interview with Method Man, or was it Luke? Luke.
Yeah, you were on the way to Vegas, and he did it with Luke.
Yeah, on the way to Vegas, and he did it with Luke, because he had just got it. So it was like a new toy to him. And possibly, not even 100% sure, when he walked in with the fatigue on with Suge at the Soul Train Music Awards, the only time. Y'all show me a picture outside of that on death row? Then I'll shut up. I'll shut up. Pac did not wear that vest, y'all. Those are myths, rumors, and all that. He had it. He bring it. have it thrown in a closet or somewhere. But I keep trying to tell y'all, it was 110 degrees that night. Okay, maybe 100 degrees that night in Vegas. People didn't wear vests on no nights. Now, Tretch broke it down well. Hopefully y'all heard it. If y'all wasn't able to hear it, then go listen to it. He's explained why, all the reasonings, why Pac should have been more secure, more, meaning Pac, not Right Way, not Reggie and all of that, that Pac should have been more leery and the things that Pac should have done personally to protect himself because of all the incidents he had been involved in and knowing he had just got into an incident at the MGM. He breaks that down well. He's 100% right. But Pac was not getting in the back seat with no Right Way security, no homeboys, or nobody riding in the middle like a little, like Michael Jackson or Beyonce or somebody would have been doing. He wasn't doing it. And for people to say that, man, I hate that Monday back quarterbacker. And once again, like I said, Tretch is one of the, y'all know I don't usually bite my tongue too much for nobody. Tretch is somebody I like. Then they're kissing his ass like Suge Knight's trying to do with him and Scarface. They get him, Scarface, Tretch, and Cardi B on his show badly. I'm not trying to get the Tretch, get him on the show. I would love to, but that's not what, I haven't been doing that because I know people that can reach out to him. Because I know people from the Jersey mob that f***s with him. But my point is, that ain't how Pac would have rolled. That ain't how he rolled. He didn't wear his vest like people keep saying. And that's because people keep putting that narrative out on interviews and saying this. But my whole question is, show me. If he always wear it, why y'all can't show me a picture of what he got, where he has it on? Why? Please do. Please do. And so, hate that narrative keeps getting thrown out of there. I hate that things that we do in 2024, even maybe 2010, people want to apply the stuff that we do in 1996. I hate it. But that's how you millennials do. And so that would be my response to that. Once again, shout out Tretch and Willie D Show. Hope that interview continue to do well for you guys.
Okay. Over on Vlad's channel, Bobby Ladd is doing an interview over there, and Vlad showed some documents that state that you offered Michael Duro $500,000 to take out Biggie. I wanted to know, first I want to get your comments on this in these documents, but I want to get your opinion and your thoughts on him showing that and what you think about it.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, well, you know, my first question would be, okay, why y'all give a That's me, that's Reggie Wright. But I know that pisses y'all off, so I'll be politically correct. So we offer a Crip $500,000, but only pay a Paru $25,000, allegedly, is what the statements that are out there. Number one, let me just say this. I had nothing to do with the murder of Biggie Small. Y'all can believe it, take it where y'all want. Or Tupac Shakur. But I tell y'all all the time, I can give a what y'all think about me having something to do with the death of Biggie Small. I don't care. I didn't know the man. Oh, well. Told you. 28, 29-year-old Reggie Wright was applauding the shit. Was glad. Had a grin every time somebody brought it up. 50-year-old to 50, what, I'm 56 now, 57 now. Hate that it happened. You know, feel bad for him, mainly his mother and his kids. Now we got that out of the way. Said that. Bobby Ladd and Greg Kading's got a major issue going on with each other. Greg Kading had Timmy's best friend, more like a brother, allegedly, sneakily removed off the task force that Greg was the handling agent on the case. And ever since then, Brennan, Ladd, and Michael Head has not cared for Greg Kading at all. I've told y'all on many occasions, and that's why I always laugh when y'all, oh, the cops lying and all of this, and I used to try to tell y'all, you might can get 2 or 3 motherfuckers to conspire for some cover-up shit, but you ain't gonna get 16 cops to conspire and be on the same page. It's not happening. Can't get 16 people in anything on the same basketball team. They talk that locker room bull crap. It ain't happening, y'all. Snuff sneak out, right? We get confidential sources that leaked it out, or anonymous sources, right? I try to tell y'all that. Y'all don't understand it. Y'all, all cops stick together and all that. That's some bullshit. Just like all Bloods don't stick together. All Parus don't stick together. And all Crips don't stick together. Even all Mexican gangs don't stick together. People just, you always got a snake among you. So, my point is, Bobby making statements, Bobby has never, and y'all got to understand, Bobby and Timmy were 2 of the best Compton street gang cops in the history of Compton Police Department. Yes, they were. And these are 2 white boys in a Mexican and a black community. They were that good. Now, but Bobby and Timmy, so I'm saying that to say, Bobby never worked on that task force. Everything he's getting is second-handed from his boy Timmy, who had problems with the task force because he was reassigned, quickly before the task force ended. Michael DeRoe was trying to get out. He actually was trying to get assigned or moved to a prison that his daddy was in, because his daddy is a major shot caller in the penitentiary system. And he was trying to get over there because he knew, he got this life sentence and trying to be over there with his daddy. So what Michael did was Brennan and Greg and another female detective, and even Michael's mom went up to Pelican Bay to meet with Michael to try to get him to talk. Anybody that was close to Orlando, they wanted to talk to see what he knew. He might even got word to him, I don't know, to tell him that he wanted to talk. I think they just wanted to talk to him. Brennan had a relationship with Michael, with Little Al, mainly because of my dad's relationship with Little Al and his mother, Carrie DeRoe. And so they go up there, and Michael snaked Reggie Wright, which everybody do, because y'all just don't know the type of name Reggie has out there. Y'all just know YouTube Reggie. Y'all don't know how Reggie was. And so he figured it would be believable because everybody thought if Suge had anything to do with it, it's Reggie and Suge. Suge was in prison, so Reggie had orchestrated. People still believe that. It's not true, but that's what the belief was. And so he goes and tells them, yeah, I met with Reggie. Reggie called me and met up with me and offered me $500,000 to have Biggie Small killed. So Timmy takes it and writes it in his notes. and put it in the paperwork. So now, and I've told y'all all of this before, y'all act like all of this is breaking news because y'all done heard it over there on Vlad channel, and I guess because the white man is putting it out. That is breaking news. I done told y'all. Anybody that's been on Ball First live streams way back in the day know that I said, thank God that the task force did something smart. They kept monitoring Michael DeRose, Little Al's phone call. Luckily, he's a stupid motherfucker at the time. He's still my little brother. Not my little brother, but you know, he's like a cousin to me. I gotta understand relationships in Compton. Still I talked to Michael probably 5 times last year. On the phone with Mr. Maples, who's his contact. On the phone with Spider, Loke, and all of them. We have talked, you know, about stuff. Just talking. Well, I was talking, you know me, I'm always trying to get an interview, but I understand he got an appeal coming up, and I don't want to do an interview with him while his appeal is coming up. Matter of fact, he got a hearing coming up in the next couple of weeks that he's reached out and trying to get my father and a good friend of his who was a higher supervisor. You know, Michael, you know, have the hearing coming up, and he's trying to get people to come to be in the audience while the hearing is going on. My father's one of the people that he requested to come, and somebody else. So I still have a lot of love for Michael. But back in the time when, in 2006, 2007, he tried to lay it on Reggie Jr. Thank God Greg Kadings and his task force did what, y'all? I done told y'all this. Once again, I'll say, on live streams before, so those who've been around know that this has been out there. If y'all don't think Vlad and Bobby Ladd didn't call and ask me, it wouldn't have came out if I didn't want to. Tell them, I'm an open book. I don't care. I run my mouth too motherfucking much. Told them, put it out. I don't care. But what they neglected to tell y'all and explain to you stupid trolls is they overheard Michael telling people on the phone what the lie he told and trying to get them to verify it. And that's when they knew, oh, we've been played. And that's why Michael never got moved with his daddy. And that's why he's was never considered a valuable informant or witness, snitch, rat, whatever you want to call him, on the case, because he was lying. So y'all get it, y'all got it, but the reason that it was put up was, number one, because Vlad brought it, and being transparent with Vlad, and brought the paperwork. Matter of fact, we're going to put up the paperwork. Y'all can read it. But like I said, all of this has been investigated, was investigated, and they got the tape recorders to prove that Michael was telling people on the streets how to verify his lie. So thank God for recordings getting taped by the prison. Why Vlad and Ladd didn't go into details like this? It's because simply, Ladd didn't know. He didn't work on the case. But there's people that does know that can verify it. And once again, when it comes to Biggie, don't give a f.
Okay, Reggie, I know we talk about him a lot, but at the same time, you do say that you're his biggest fan. So what do you think of Snoop Dogg's new movie, Underdogs, on Amazon Prime? Did you check that out?
I guess I really am. Because I did watch the movie. But I like some of the people that was in it. I love that girl that played his love interest from the haves and have-nots. I always say I love her, but damn, I didn't know never know her name. I got mad when I found out she had a baby and was messing around with a white boy. But anyway, that's Reggie Wright and his prejudice, being prejudiced. But I love her. And then George Lopez, he was in there, and I like George. And then Reggie Wright, a.k.a. Mike Epps. Y'all remember that, Reggie Wright, Mike Epps? He plays in the... Who I think is, man? I think that's Big Flossie. I think he was throwing a shout out to Big Flossie or Big C Style. One of the two in that little role. But yeah, I watched it, John. I loved it because it was entertaining. Like I said, I love the characters that was in it. I love how he shout out Long Beach and Long Beach Poly and the great things that he has always. Y'all know I talk a lot about Snoop Dogg, but I always tell you I love what he did for the kids with the football programs and stuff like that. I tell y'all, you know, C.J. Strauss is somebody that played in his football league, and there's a lot of other players, but I know y'all know C.J., and so that's why I mentioned C.J. But even if it's just kids that he kept from going from game banging to doing something active, you know, while they're growing up. So even the kids that didn't make it, it was a great thing. I love what he's doing with the football program and the stuff, especially that he did in the mid-2000s. Yeah, I know I always got to critique Suge. Not Suge. Well, him too. But Snoop. Only thing I didn't like about the movie, John, man, and it's on Prime Video for those of y'all. It's called Underdogs. For those of y'all who haven't seen it, and I love Candace, my girl Candy. Love Candy from Escape, Desperate Housewives. I love her because what she said, ever since her and I can't even think of the other girl name. They did an episode on Atlanta Housewives. Well, she said, I love giving. You got to enjoy giving. Ever since then, I've been in love with Candy, secretly. But, because she's a freak and I love a freaky female. But, my only thing I got to say is, for me, my only critique is, I wish like hell he didn't allow the kids to do as much cussing in the movie that he did. And two, and more importantly, that he didn't cuss towards the kids as much as he did. It was a bad look just because of the cussing. Other than that, everything about the movie was, you know, low budget. You know, it wasn't no Denzel or something like that type movie, but it was good. It was entertaining. It was something to watch. I watched it for the whole hour and a half, 2 hours that it was on, and didn't pull away from it. But y'all know Reggie's a Snoop, the whole groupie for some reason that talks about him. So I watched it though, and I would suggest and will hope that you all go and support it. He seems to have a great relationship, and I hope he uses it for something beneficial in Long Beach. Because man, that dude from Raising Cane did some selfies with him in the show, and he advertised like crazy from Cane's Chicken. Matter of fact, one of my favorite spots. I love their French fries and cheese toast. That's probably why I done picked up all this weight. And John, don't you ever put up a flashback again in life. Man, John had up a flashback last week. My God, made me almost cry when I saw how much weight I picked up in a year's time. A year's time. But anyway, yeah, so the show was good. But I was going to say, I hope he take that relationship with that guy that Cane's Chicken and build one in Long Beach. I know they have one downtown Long Beach, but I'm talking about insane Crips, rolling 20 Crips, 19 strip Crips area. Better yet, on PCH or somewhere around there. Use that relationship, Snoop. Get you a Cane's Chicken over there for the people, because they're going to blow up. And they're already blowing up in California. And they're going to start blowing up in y'all town for any of y'all that hadn't had them. But yeah, that would be my take on the show.
Did you see, I know on the last episode we spoke about Snoop, but did you see that he did an interview and they asked him about Trump and he said he's got nothing but love for Trump and what he's done? Did you have any thoughts on that?
My boy Snoop Dogg. I tell y'all about Snoop Dogg anyway. He goes with the wind, whatever that's going on. Don't y'all remember the video that he did where, matter of fact, I'll let y'all listen to what Mr. Trump's son had to say.
Big endorsement, kind of. Big change, though. Big 180, folks. Big 180. This week, Snoop Dogg now says he's got nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. That's a huge change, folks. That's a huge change. You can remember back in 2017, he made a music video, like a rap video, where he was like appearing to shoot Donald Trump. Now, again, then that was easy, right? Your record label would love it. They gave you all sorts of free PR. You'd get all sorts of clicks on Instagram. The mainstream media and all the other leftists would make you a hero for doing it. But people are coming around. They see all the nonsense. They see all the lies.
All right. So that's what he had to say. But don't y'all remember, and he even mentioned it, even in the video, that that Snoop was, you know, had a gun or was trying to shoot Trump or something like that in the music video, and he used to talk bad about Trump. Now, and he said because he let Michael Harrio out. Well, I know a lot of you idiots don't understand the reason why Trump did that. He let out all violent criminals, people with violent records and stuff, in the areas that he lost. The states that if you was a state that that he didn't win, you got a whole bunch of violent criminals released from federal prison, which black folks and Mexicans were like, why are you tripping on what you care? I'm just telling you, it ain't like he did it because he loved y'all or anything like that. He did it because he was trying to get back at the people that didn't vote for him. Because most of you motherfuckers don't go and vote. Keep it real. Y'all don't. But, so that's who his shot at was. But Snoop saying all of that, Snoop, you know, Snoop is one of those that just say whatever the public is loving. Right now the public is loving, you know, loving Trump again. I actually don't have a major problem with Trump. I saw some interviews because one thing about Trump, I don't like Trump, but I don't have a problem with Trump because I think he play cards for his advantage. But I saw that interview that he did recently on IG with where he spoke up on Mike Tyson. Hopefully John will be able to play it. And where he was pretty much saying, hey, that was some buzz why Mike Tyson is in prison. So when he do stuff like that, it makes me be like, damn, Trump ain't that bad. But then he go and do the stuff like he did at that rally, pushing the, you know, the people from the South that don't like black folks. I'll just say that, not rednecks. When he pushing their card and they're, you know, pumping them up, all you motherfuckers riding around with flags in front of your house and in the back of your car, yeah, we know who y'all are, you know, then we'll be like, oh, no, we can't have that again. And so that's what's going on with people and Trump. People don't know where to go because of the hatred. Even my partner, John. I just don't think Biden can do it. They think he's too old and he just not with his sharpness. And so I hope the rumors are true. Did y'all hear the rumors lately? That my big booty black friend, Michelle Obama, is going to announce that she's running for the Democratic Party and Joe Biden going to come out and support her in March. I think it's rumors, but I wish something like that was true. But I don't know. I know y'all don't like hearing Reggie Wright talk about politics and Republican and Democrat. I'm definitely a supporter of Democrat Party, But I get it for those of y'all that support the Republican Party if you're making over $300,000 to $400,000 a year. And if you don't make that much, you're just a follower. And you're supporting Trump. Peace bomb first.
Did you see on Arch Channel Napoleon respond to Big Stretch's shocking comments about what happened at Quad Studios when Tupac was shot? Did you see that clip?
Man. All I could think about when I saw Napoleon and Art doing a hell of an investigation on that. I got to give that to him. Don't know where he's going with it. Might have to reach out to him and ask him to let me come on the show so I can break it down with him. But, man, I've been telling y'all. What happened to Big Stretch. And the way stuff is coming out, piece by piece. If y'all say it don't look suspicious, and my statement don't look right, and y'all don't believe in, and if you do or don't believe in coincidence, 1 year to the exact date, man, tell y'all what I know. Not what I don't know. Only tell y'all what I know. What I believe, what I believe. And that's what it appears from all the statements that Napoleon is over there, not Napoleon, that's Art hitting Napoleon with. He done brought out audio where Stretch talking bad about Pac in the back at the end of that audio, calling him disrespectful names, that he was the only one that had the key to the house where they went in there and stole Keisha's jewelry. Is it Keisha or it was one of the young ladies? I think it was Keisha. Go in there and steal her jewelry. And apparently, Pac probably left some jewelry over there. Man, the songs, the stuff that he talking about, the statement that like Mutal always say about getting your money right and bringing that message back to him. The things that I, from a distance, overheard and saw, and with my King's police noticing. Yeah, man. Telling y'all, it's gonna come out. It's gonna be another thing where y'all gonna be like, that goddamn Reggie Wright, he been telling us, and we been laughing at him and talking about he don't know what he talking about. It was a drug deal going bad and all of that. Okay. So LA can't go and set up a drug deal. If y'all know anything about the drug deals, that's when usually you deal with somebody. Somebody from another town come in with a bag of money. Man, never mind. But anyway. Yeah, I heard it. Sit back and listen. Keep back listening. Because to be honest, that ain't my business. But it's coming out piece by piece. Hopefully Art got some more things he pulling out of his arsenal. Because he be finding interviews. Yeah, people be talking. You just got to put it all together. And he, just in that interview with Napoleon, have put 2 to 3 things together that will make a person go, But Reggie Wright been speaking that for how long? If you've been around, been listening to Reggie, I've been telling y'all why Big Stretch is no longer with us. Yep.
Okay. Did you see the video? Like, it's like a little makeshift documentary that World Star Hip Hop on YouTube put out, not insinuating, they were stating that Wack 100 was a federal informant. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. You know, I guess it's all war and fair games when it comes to stuff like that. I hate that. Do I hate it? Or do I find it funny that these Crip dudes are letting this Pyru dude play them like a motherfucking puppet? I'm sure Suge gonna insert himself in it somehow and probably be calling Big U if he haven't already did and getting involved in it, because that's a major big topic right now. But, and that ain't the Pyru that I was talking about, been playing all these Crips like a puppet. I'm talking about Wack. Man, that situation is not going to end well. Let me just say this. I have talked to people, sent paperwork and all of that to people in law enforcement that they know, and they have all told me, man, Wack was never an informant. I know y'all say I'm a Wack 100 apologist and all of that, but I have no evidence or knowing of Wack being an informant. So I don't agree with those statements that's been made. But I do know and I do see that this information that he's putting out and getting involving him and inserting himself into, it's real dangerous. It's not going to end well, y'all. And it's unfortunate. I hope so, because y'all know I got a lot of love for Wack. So I hope it eventually works itself out and this shit goes away and he moves on to another topic. Maybe Reggie.
For those that don't know, Reggie, what is the information that he is putting out? Just really briefly, for people that don't follow this stuff and don't know, what is it that exactly that he's putting out that's dangerous, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, he got people supposed to be coming out on February the 14th. So I know that date hadn't came yet. He's got this guy that's a Crip from the 60 area that's supposed to be putting out a tape of Nipsey doing sexual acts with another man and a female. And he also putting out, they're responding by saying he's in paperwork that's been an informant. That's the paperwork I was talking about. As far as that tape and stuff, I don't know nothing about. But he done brought in females. He has people that are close with Nip and Big U and all of them that's saying that this tape does exist. Now, February the 15th, a lot of these people might be proven to be liars. February the 14th, if it comes out, well, there ain't going to be nothing for us to talk about because there ain't nobody going to be over here listening to us. It's going to be everybody, the internet, it's going to be a new Cat Williams. Cat Williams record going to be broke if that comes out. And I hope like hell it's not true that the boy is lying. I'm talking about I don't even know his name, Luciano or whatever his name is, Luciano. Hope there's no truth to it because I'm a Nipsey fan. His music has grown on me like y'all did, you know, after Tupac's death, how y'all made him a star. I understand because that's how I put Nips on a pedestal now after his death. Because prior to that, all I knew about him is he was laying up with Lauren London. And I love Lauren London. Ever since she played in that show with, I've been in love with her. But, yeah. I don't know. don't even like talking about this particular subject, but I know I got to talk about it just to put out the information about Wack, whether he's an informant or not. I got to stand by my friends, as I always do, and say there's no evidence of that. And all the law enforcement contacts I have adamantly denied that he was an informant. And my law enforcement contacts are the people that's supposed to be who he was working with and talking to. So I guess I can say it's coming straight from the horse's mouth. It's the only reason I'm touching on this subject. And waiting to see how they're going to cover up February the 14th if this doesn't come out. And if it does come out, whoa. Whoa. A lot of people credibility is on the line with this. Yep.
Hey Reggie, did you see that they put out like a cease and desist letter that they got in regards to the video that they haven't released yet? Just being objective, I feel like it's kind of like a precursor of an excuse for it to not come out, but I guess we'll all see on the 14th. But I'll put the cease and desist or whatever it is they posted on the screen as we talk. Okay. Did you see where Jadakiss did an interview? And he talked about kind of the same thing that Vanilla Ice talked about, in the sense that Suge would pop up wherever Jadakiss would go, and that Suge was after trying to get a verse from him or something like that, but Jadakiss didn't let it happen. Did you see that little interview clip?
You know, Jadakiss was always one that I started that relationship with a guy named D and Wah when they was with the Rough Riders. I tell you, when they used to come to town, we used to look out for them and by giving them stuff, and when we came to town, they gave us stuff. And they were good dudes. The relationship with Wah, whichever one is the one that didn't lose his legs in the accident on the, it wasn't a motorcycle, but something like a motorcycle, was the one that I believe that was Wah, but I always get them mixed up, always has. And so he and I had a great relationship. He was, it originally started from him trying to get they wanted me to get Suge on the phone to do a taping. It was something when Jadakiss' album was coming out. He was doing a solo because, of course, y'all know he was in the group. And then after, you know, he was going to do a solo album. And they wanted to get a taping of Suge congratulating him on his album or his song, you know, coming out at the beginning of the album. That was the skits. Because back then, you know, skits used to be big at the beginning of albums. So I know I was always trying to make that happen. Don't remember if it ever came out, but I know Suge did do the recording. But I don't remember Suge's voice being on the beginning congratulating Jadakiss, you know, for his album coming out. Don't remember that. That's one thing I can't remember. But I know I was dealing with Wah, or it was Wah, that on making that happen. And so we talking like 99, maybe 2000, 2001, when all of this was going down. So Jadakiss got to be talking like 2006, 2007, 2000, maybe 5. And by that time, Suge was just out there running wild with everybody. He was always in the clubs. He was always in the nice restaurants. That's one thing about Suge. Suge knows the wine and dine, the finest places in life. The nice hotels, the nice restaurants, and the hottest club. He knows that. And he be at them. And he circle them, especially if you're in L.A., Because I told you what was going on. Him and Big U was out there pushing up on playing good cop, bad cop with them. You know, making them pay for being out in L.A. And even with money, relationships, whatever it was. And they were doing that big time. And Wack would get involved a little bit. And my boy Shaheed, or my boy Magic. They were tag teaming like crazy and all working together. But I'm saying all that to say, and even Big Flint will get involved sometime. And so that was going on. And so that's why they were always circling. And that's why it seemed like they were always popping up on people. But as I remember, Suge always had much respect for Rough Riders and anybody that was associated to Rough Riders. And that was mainly because of the relationship between Wah and D, the two brothers. That was, I think, 2 or 3, or maybe it was their sister, the people that were involved in charge of Rough Rider Records. And who didn't want to be involved with DMX? Because Suge knows, and like he said in his first episode of the podcast, that we're the ones that got the car and had it painted and gave the DMX. And that wasn't because Suge wanted to give up his car. That was just because he just wanted to have a nice relationship with DMX, which it was actually Leor Corn that purchased it for him for a gift for his for having 2 #1 albums in the same year. In the same year. So who else did that other than, who else did that? 2 #1 albums in the same year. Don't y'all remember Pop? He had 2000, he had in 1996, he had All Eyes on Me, February the 13th. And then later that year in what was it, John? November, October?
November 5th.
November the 5th. See, John, know that. No. November the 5th, 1996, another #1 album in Machiavelli. But yeah, but DMX did that as well. So shout out to both of those two icons.
Did you see
my two?
Suge made these comments on his podcast about Oprah Winfrey, saying that
definitely in my top 5.
She started the trend of not paying black actresses or actors properly. Did you see him say that?
I saw he said that. I don't remember catching it, that she started the trend. I think he said she could have broke the trend by giving them.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
You're right.
But yeah, I did see it, and one thing I can say about Suge, y'all know, and all of y'all, Suge was cheating people and robbing people with himself. I keep telling y'all that ain't factual. It may have eventually came out that way because of the accounting and all of that stuff, and the lawsuit that y'all think Afeni had to sue, which y'all don't know. Her thing was really a response to a Suge lawsuit, but which is kind of called a counter lawsuit or whatever. But Suge was very, very generous with money as far as giving artists monies. I heard an interview recently with the dude, the one that played in the movie with Tupac, in Gridlock. I can't think of his name right now. Who?
Tim Roth?
The black guy. Oh. Yeah. Or was it gang related? But anyway, I heard an interview where he was saying how he was offered $1 million to sign with Death Row and stuff. I'm saying all that to say Suge was very, very, very generous. Was it Tone Loc? Very, very generous with giving people money and advances. And so he's kind of right when he said he overpaid people and gave people a lot of money and stuff like that, advances and stuff like that. You know, like I said, Suge get his bad rap because he didn't have a royalty department where people can actually see how much they were really spending. Because we all know how we forget until we get that credit card statement, and we get that statement, we're like, God, I did spend that much money on my credit card, or I did spend that much money this month. And you don't realize it until you see it in black and white. And so that was the problem with Death Row and Death Row artists and stuff like that. So I can't hate on Suge by saying that he didn't overpay people in the business and give people big advances, you know, or big amount, or big budgets and stuff like that, because he did. I know a lot of y'all already saying, oh, no, he didn't, he did this. Well, you don't know what you're talking about. But I understand, because nobody defended that correctly. That's what people believe. Don't make it factual. But I can also throw out some things to Suge that say, you got your motherfucking nerves. Because there's people that has also done things for Suge, or done things for his company. You know, like the artists. I'm talking about the people that did the artwork, or the photographers, or I'll give an example. Hendall, who drew the Death Row logo, right? If he would have did that for a major company, as much as that Death Row logo is being exploited now, could you imagine how wealthy he would be, or his estate would be from that logo? For, you know, just getting a little piece of whatever, because he drew that and that was his thing, and because he didn't do the correct paperwork or give people the correct licensing form or whatever to have that out. So for him to call out Oprah for stuff like that he neglected to do as well, it's kind of hypocritical. Get his point, or get the point he was trying to make. He went way too deep. The actress and the actor's name and the British part that he knew about, I don't know how that nigga in prison know all of this stuff. I mean, he either reading the hell out of magazines, or he talking to somebody that is giving him some good advice, because, man, he did a hell of a good job of breaking down those British actors and actresses and stuff like that. So, not going to give my opinion too much about the acting part, because I do believe and I do like, hey, if you got that role, I don't care if you're British or whatever, if you can make the role. Did y'all know that Idris, when he was in The Wire, did y'all know he was from the UK when he played in that part? No, you thought he was a motherfucker with an accent that talked like a dude from Baltimore, from B-more. At least I did. When he played in those shows with Beyonce, I didn't know he was, you know. So I'm saying all that to say, if you learn how to act and you're acting, you know, I don't have no problem with you learning and acting. You know, Heron and Big C Style wrote the treatment to Murder Was the Case. That video. Did they get big checks for writing that? You know, the video for that, the scene and all of that. Were they in that video? Big C Style was, but Heron did a lot of the treatment on that. Was he in it? So I'm saying, you know, it's a lot of things that Suge say be a little kind of hypocritical, in my opinion. Things that he didn't live up to, that I think now in 2024, he may think about and would be a hell of a better businessman in 2024 than he was in 1995, 1996. Even though, me saying all of that, as far as the independent label, okay, Baby and them might have did it well and did a little better because they have a longer run now. But other than Baby, who was better than Suge? Who? Tell me. Y'all gonna say Baby, I know. And that's just because he had a longer run because of Drake and Nicki and Lil Wayne and all of them. But 93 92, 94, 95. I know I went backwards with numbers. 96, wasn't nobody better executive in the music. Not Russell and Leor. They didn't start hitting home runs until 98, 99 again. They were bankrupt. They had to go and sell part of their company to Columbia to save them. And then they started back again with Method Man, Redman, Jay-Z, DMX. Thank God DMX saved them. But y'all say Warren G saved them. I say it was Montel Jordan with "This Is How We Do It." Y'all remember that song? No, y'all don't remember it. But that's what saved Def Jam. But they, even after that, they still weren't doing good because I Shot the Sheriff didn't do it. But anyway. So that would be my take on that. I said I wasn't going to on Suge Knight no more and all of that, but oh well. Call a ball, strike a strike. Baseball season almost back.